guys, it's me again, Nikki. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I am so excited to make a chibi doll of Moana. This is really exciting for me. It's something that I am really passionate about. I love sculpting things, and I really wanted to do something chibi for all of you. And I'm most likely going to do all of the Disney princesses. But for today, we're going to focus on Moana. I also made a really fun tutorial on how to make the Heart of Te-Fiti. You can click the link in the description box, or you can wait until the end of the video to click the link and I will show you how to make this really fun project. And this is what it looks like when it's done and glazed. So I really hope you guys enjoy this. Alright, let's get started. This time I'm starting with a basic armature made with dowels. So I have 2 dowels inserted to a hip piece made from scrap clay, which also gives Moana some underwear. I cover the legs with a mix of super sculpey and translucent beige with a tiny bit of brown for that sun-kissed color. Make sure you smooth out the legs enough, and I was thinking that this was a challenge because I should have covered the dowel rods before inserting them into her underwear, which would have made it a lot smoother. So next up, I add the torso and I smooth that out, and I find that the breast part was probably the most challenging just because it was really hard for me to smooth out her abdomen with the rubber-tipped tool piece. So next time, I'd probably do everything separately and then add dowels into them and then put them all together. I also added a little back line just in case because I thought it would make it look better. Here I am using my dotting tool to smooth out a little more of the crevices and adding a little more just to fill in the abdomen and smoothing that out. And I'm cutting off excess pieces where I would like the torso to be a little more narrow. And I'm trying to bring everything up into the neck and just cutting off the extra pieces and making the neck as small as I can just to make it look proportionate. Next up, I've rolled out a strip of red clay to use as the top. I'm using 2 pieces to wrap around her top. So here's the first part, and I attach that together in the back. And then I add another strip on the bottom just to give it a little more definition. And it does hang kind of low, but I thought that was perfect. So I'm smoothing this out as much as I can, and I'll roll out a thin roll of clay just to cover her skirt. This is also in tan mixed with a little bit of jeweler's gold. This is in Sculpey 3. So I attach that piece as her underskirt and I add a little bit of texture to it. Don't forget to do the insides. Now with a thin piece of white, I'll also add the rest of her skirt. So I'm cutting out tiny triangles around the hemline, and I'll wrap that as part of her skirt too, just to look like a skirt wrap. And then I do this twice just to make it look like a really long wrap that wraps twice around her body. With this one, I used smaller triangles just to give it more definition. So this does start to look really thick around her hips, so you want to press it down into her abdomen as much as you can. Just to make it look like she has a tiny waist, but not like she has extremely huge hips. Then I'm going to roll out the red clay and wrap that around her skirt, and this acts as the sash. So I'll add a little piece around the side to make it look like it was tied around her waist. Then I'll roll out 2 thin strips just to add a design to the top of her top. And I do this twice because I think it looks better with 2 like little snakes instead of just 1. And we smooth the back, smooth out as many fingerprints as you can. After attaching some arms, we're going to work on her feet. And these I just measured out, I'm not actually attaching them, and I'll move on to starting with her head. So we roll out a large ball. This is a chibi doll, so you do want it to be a little bigger than her body. And of course, I want to use really large eyes. So I'm sculpting some eyes, and Moana does have a wider nose, so I am cutting out a little bit on the side just to make an indentation and to smooth out the nose as much as I can. And then I attach that to the head before I start working on the other details. So I'll roll out some black clay to insert into the huge eyes. And I smooth that out with my dotting tool. I do this for both eyes, of course. Cut off the excess black pieces and try to flatten them as much as I can. Then I'll add the white pieces to attach around the eyes, just to give it the glow. I like the tops to be as pointed, and then I add 2 dots in white. I always add the gray dot last, so I'll do that in a bit. So then we'll line the rest of the eyes and do the eyelashes. So you take a really thin piece of rolled black clay and wrap that around the white part. This you want to get as smooth and as thin as possible, just to give her like really innocent looking eyes. And then we do the eyelashes. I add 2 on the top and 1 on the bottom. Next up, let's roll some eyebrows. And I make an indentation for her smile, which I always like to be really sly on the side. And I think it's perfect on her left side because most of the pictures I saw on the internet would have her smiling like towards the right. So on this, like when you're looking at her, it would be on your left. And I use a clay that's a little darker than her skin tone because I don't think she's wearing any makeup. And for the hair, I just take little dots or round pieces that I flatten out, and I use one of my tools to scrape the edges. I do both sides because she has curly hair, so that'll be curled around her face. And I just keep doing multiple strips of hair all around her face. I can cut them in half just to make them look nicer and like more free-flowing for curls. I do attach them to like the parts of her body just to keep them stable so they won't break off. So just keep adding as much hair. Try to do as many curls as you can. She does have a lot of hair. I use different lengths of hair. Towards the top of her head, I try to add shorter pieces to make them look more wild-like. And to attach her to a stand after baking, I've created this sandy-looking piece mixed with jeweler's gold and tan clay, and I just give that some texture with a toothbrush. And then I attach her feet. I try to smooth that out as much as I can. This was also a challenge just because they were so close together and my fingers are kind of big, so it's hard to like insert my fingers into the sides of her legs to smooth that out, but I just tried to do as much as I could. And doing this, a lot of the pieces from her skirt started to break off, which kind of makes me sad. But at least for next time I'll know, and I think this is a really fun doll to make. So for next time I'll know how to make faces and characters with legs and feet showing. So once that's smooth, we place that on top of this sand, bake that in an oven, and there you have it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really enjoyed making this for you. Please click subscribe and comment down below anything else you'd like me to make. Please check out my other video on how to make the heart of Te Fiti. That was a really fun tutorial, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye!